Welcome everyone to Aging in Action, and along with my co-host Nikki Sage, I have as a guest today Eric Cloutier, Nadine Law, and Dan Lebrun. Welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having us.
So how's everybody making out with all of COVID? It's affecting all of us in different ways, and what's your experience? Maybe tell us a bit about yourselves.
Well, who wants to start? How about guys? Eric, go ahead.
Eric Cloutier, just recently started going back to school. COVID's got me locked down at home pretty much. Being in a wheelchair makes it a little harder to, not harder to access grocery stores or whatnot, but makes it a little harder because you're always touching for the door to open and, you know, I think the cost of it all, because for deliveries and all that, you know, it's not in our budget when you're, you know, on a fixed income. So, but besides that, too busy with school to worry about anything else. I mean, it's crap time now. I'm in final exams, so, you know,
life goes on, right? And we all have to do to get through this next part of it. It's awkward, right? Because we were just saying how much we're using Zoom as a way to talk to each other, because I know I want to jump in the car and go visit some
I know. Yeah.
Withdrawals.
It's getting I've been used to being isolated in the past, working where I worked in a lot of isolated area, but for something like this, it's different.
Yeah.
You know, you're stuck at home and you can't get out. It's just, I'm at the end there now. I can't wait for this to be done.
Yeah.
Well, humans need interaction, right? We need to speak with people face to face and human touch. And I'm such an extrovert that I'm going crazy. And my only savior is I get to come to the office every so often, right? So there's one or two coworkers, so I'm talking their ear off all day. I just went and got gift certificates at one of the restaurants, and I talked to them for like 20 minutes just because I wanted to speak to people.
Yeah.
But they're still so far away.
Yeah.
And we're trying to adjust to a new normal, and there's so many different dynamics and things that are in play right now that I don't think everybody can quite comprehend. So I was excited to do this episode with you guys to see a different side of it and things that I maybe never have even thought about. Like Nadine, you were talking about individuals on ODSP, right?
Right.
So,
yeah. So,
you know,
I think sorry, go ahead, Nikki.
No, go ahead. No, I was leading into you following up with that.
Right. Well, just doing the number of interviews lately, we addressing the concerns. It's not just the ODSP, right? It's we've got individuals on Canada Pension Disability, and then I mean, which applies as well for seniors with their fixed income, right? So and then in my situation, and one of the things that I've said is I don't typically speak. Sure, I advocate and do what I do because of Dan, right? And my passion. But this time around, it's a little bit different with this pandemic, and it's scaring the hell out of me because just this rare disease I have that, you know, I need an infusion every 3 days. Well, and then I have a chemo injection once a week. So my income has been cut because of one source, business. But then I'm now having to pay $60 a week for, well, I haven't yet, but I'm going to have somebody come in to do my blood work. I haven't had blood work done in a month. I'm supposed to have this done weekly. It's crucial for my, for my liver function and whatnot. So that's $240 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money. So people are also making these comments. Well, people are on ODSP. They're their income hasn't changed, and they're staying home. So where's the expense? And they don't get that like in Dan's situation, he's been very fortunate, right? To be able to, he's had some great volunteers, people to help out. My sister's helped out. And we don't all have that. So when, for myself, I have been fortunate to have some help, but they're coming back with such anxiety from being out there, or they come home empty-handed, that I feel bad having to get them to do this. So now I feel, okay, I'm going to have to order everything at independent. Well, I typically have to shop around. Most people, you know, that's just what we do. And I work, and I still can't make ends meet with this COVID. It's absolutely ridiculous, because when I was doing my order through independent, I did the exact same order through Walmart. Same 21 items, $50 difference for 1 week. So think about that. Even if you are, if this is somebody from on ODSP, the only place that is delivering is independent. So that's where you're going to order from. So then they have a delivery fee on top of that. Well, there's not enough money to start with, right? So where's that extra money coming from? So you're looking at that. So here we are now, we're up to another, say, we're up to about $440 more. Now, another thing, something people aren't considering or even realizing, and I didn't actually until the other day, is when my son picked up my meds at the beginning of the pandemic, and then he dropped them off at the beginning of the week, it didn't make sense, because there are I have a co-payment with I have benefits, but I have a co-payment. So what I try to do is I get my meds for 3 months, and then you only have that one dispensing fee, right? So now what they're doing is they're only dispensing 30 days at a time. So now they're charging my insurance company that dispensing fee, which now I'm responsible for 3 times now instead of the one payment. So it's like adding up and adding up. So
yeah, I mean, being on a fixed income, that's right, you've got this guaranteed source of income, but it doesn't cover for all these extra expenditures that are occurring because of COVID that nobody ever thought about, right? But
right,
you know, you'd have to always get your groceries delivered, because in order to reduce your exposure, you have to try to, you know, order online, and I've done it too myself. And the last time I went out, yeah, I was more nervous than I was before.
Yeah, Brian and I just ordered groceries online for the first time too. And we ordered them from Walmart, and I saw delivery was an option. We didn't click on it because we're so close, but I guess they're not delivering.
No,
I
they're
didn't
not.
know that. Wow.
Dan's been trying.
That's terrible.
Yeah, how are you finding things, Dan?
The delivery fees, even if I do get a friend or a volunteer to do, I feel obligated to give gas money. So that's another $8 added to the cost of whatever groceries, whatever items. So it's always adding up, and especially if you want fresh produce in your fridge weekly, it starts to add up. And I was fortunate enough to find somebody to do these errands, whatever, but I just don't want to put them in danger. And especially if there's a lineup at Walmart, I tell them don't bother, do it another day when there's no lineup, and hopefully they'll be safe. And
it's so hard because, I mean, it was just before Easter, right? I had ordered a week ahead before Easter because I kind of thought it was going to take me that long to get the groceries. And then when I happened to go out for a drive to go get something, the lineups were everywhere. And I thought, there's no way. And it was cold, it was snowing. And that's pretty difficult to do if you've got any challenges, right?
And if you try to pick a time slot for your groceries, it's always booked at least a week ahead. So
we discovered that too when we went to pick a slot. We're like, not till next Wednesday. We can't pick them up till next Wednesday. Oh my gosh! But we're fortunate enough that we could just get in a car and go and wait in the line. So, I mean, when we don't live, you know, with a disability, we don't stop to think about what other people are going through. So it's really great to kind of talk about it. And I'm sorry you guys are going through some of this. I mean, is there any volunteer organizations, anybody else out there that can help with, you know, delivering groceries, things like that we can talk about or reach out to?
Oh, I've been doing that.
How has it been? Any luck?
There's a lot of things in the works.
Okay.
What's happening is through United Way.
Oh, right.
Oh,
There's
okay.
the two levels, right? They've got the money that the 9 million that the Prime Minister had announced for the to go to United Way across Canada for programs for different agencies to apply for this funding so that they can, roll out this program to deliver foods to those with seniors. And so my whole idea is I've been advocating saying, hey, it's not just seniors here. We need the disabled community a part of this this vulnerable population. And you know what? Interesting. It wasn't. Dan said to me yesterday was that our Prime Minister yesterday finally mentioned individuals with disabilities in his speech. So thank you for that, finally acknowledging us. But it's been a fight. It's been, just to get them to listen. So like I was saying, so the money that's going to across Canada, some of it will be coming here. But there's other source of funding. It's an emergency response fund. You can go on their website and find out, and that has nothing to do with that money from the federal level. So I've encouraged some local organizations to get on board. If it was, if I could do it, if I had the time and be able to roll something out, I would have done it. But I just can't. I've already been in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost track. I've seriously, I'm looking at my calendar right now, and it's over. I think I'm in 5 weeks now.
Wow.
And that's hard. That in itself, especially when you. I like my alone time, believe me. But I'm struggling. I'm struggling with it. And that's, what? And I think we all are. Okay. And I think yesterday we were talking, Gwen. We're all struggling, and that's okay. Guys, yeah. It's okay to not be okay as a whole, but just find things every day to be grateful for. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what gets me through my days. And I don't want to monopolize the whole conversation here, but I do.
With the nice weather coming, that's going to be even harder to stay in.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to go to the park or the beach, and they're probably going to lock everything down still. I doubt it's going to happen until end of August if we're lucky.
Yeah, it's, in some shape or form, we're going to be dealing with this for a while. Even if they do lift some restrictions, it's not going to be overnight that we're all going to just go back to the way we were. It's not. It's going to take time. Was any of the recent announcements, is any of that funding anything that you can access, like the third, you mentioned the emergency response fund?
That's, like I said, that there is for places that can, local nonprofits that can actually roll out a program. So things are in the works, and things are changing daily. So I haven't spoken with Mary Lou Husak. So she happens to be a friend as well. So we'll reach out. But I've spoken with her, earlier, and at that time she couldn't mention. At that time she didn't know, how the funds were going to be rolled out. But like I said, there is other funding locally through United Way. Like I said, that people can apply for. I want to mention today I received an email from ISAC, which is Income Security Advocacy Group. Okay, they're out of Toronto. So a lawyer contacted me, and I guess he's seen some of the work up here that we, the advocacy work that we do up here with Access to All, and so he's asked to collaborate on as we move forward with the provincial government. So there's an open letter right now that we've signed, and that's going to go to the minister. And hopefully the idea is for the governments. We're pushing for a higher funding for those on disabilities, those falling through the cracks. Anyhow, so just it's all happening. They are working on it.
Yeah, okay.
So that's good to know.
You mentioned, sorry, access to all. Maybe for the people that have never heard about access to all, could you just explain it briefly? Or?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Actually, we didn't even do it like that intro at the beginning. We usually. Okay, so
okay, go with the flow.
Sorry, I got talking, I think, and I messed that whole intro up. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Maybe. So Access to All is just a nonprofit organization and a community group here and advocacy. And what we do is we have volunteer carpenters that build ramps for single-step storefronts, and they're donated because we can get material donations. We also have a ramp on request program, and as well as, like I said, the advocacy. You know, we've sort of been the voice, and it seems for the last couple of years in the community, and that's just because, you know, I'm it's not acceptable. It really isn't, right? So anyhow, so people reach out to us a lot to be their voice, right? People are afraid to speak up, or they don't know what avenue to go, what to do, and you know, just being able to be there and sort of do my part. Like, this is I'm finding very hard for me to have to sit back and not be able to be out there delivering food, doing what I possibly can, right?
Yeah.
But I can't. So I've had to, well, I know how to use my voice. I've been doing that the last couple of years. And so that's how I'm going to give back to my community, is by, you know, being their voice and ensuring, you know, like I did speak with the local MPs, you know, Mark Saray and Paul Lefebvre, and then Jamie West. They've all been fantastic with the response, coming up with solutions, looking, and one of the good things I did find out today is that their Quattro, she put, there's an advisory team that's now been put together in for her to collaborate with, as far as how they move forward with all things for the disabled community. So I know that one of the guys that is on the panel, and so he's going to be a good voice for the community, and so I think, like I said, it's just, we all have to be a little bit louder. It's how many weeks in? We're 5, 6. I don't know how far, but we're far in, and it's just starting to. We're just starting to see, like I said yesterday, like Dan had told me that, you know, it was only yesterday that the Prime Minister, you know, mentioned individuals with disabilities. So that whole community has just not been in the forefront of anyone's thoughts, the provincial level, the federal level, and to me, it's not acceptable. You know what? I know they're doing the best they can, just like we all are. We're all trying to get through this, but yet it's just showing that they did without before this happened.
Yeah,
we all, you know, people did without. And now so now it's sort of like, okay, how are we going to move forward after this pandemic? And why is it, you know, we talk about the CERB of $2,000. Well, if that is what you think we need to live on, then why the hell are people, why aren't people on ODSP receiving that amount as well? To start with, right?
Eric, what would you like to see change, and I mean, of course, more money would help.
Yeah, well, I mean, money will help anytime, right? Like, it doesn't fix everything, but it sure helps a lot. But just in general, you know, like here in Sudbury, for me, I know a lot of us are either living or close to the downtown core. Well, now everything's closed. So if I want to go to my bank, I either drive all the way to the Four Corners, or go to New Sudbury, right?
Yeah.
So my mother-in-law lives down the road. If she needs to go to the bank, which we use the same bank, she's 75, 76 years old. She don't drive anymore. You know, it's just always extra burden on everybody to pretty much do their daily living stuck at home. It's costing us more to be stuck at home than out there free, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I haven't heard of any help. Like, I'm lucky for myself. I've got 2 older daughters that live on their own, that drop stuff off care for us, right? So that's a plus, but not everybody's in my situation, right? So,
That's right.
you know, sure, it's hard. Like, we, with the kids, try to arrange the same thing for the mother-in-law, which is not far from us, but you know, we used to take her all the time, do her shopping and that. We can't even do that anymore, right? So it's and doesn't seem like there's any help there either for any of us, or even the elders, right? So
yeah, it's kind of it's all over the place, but not sort of like that you can say, okay, I'll pick up this and I'll find this. And
well, that's the thing, right? Like some stuff. You know, we usually go to different stores when we're doing our groceries. You know, now you gotta, with this COVID that's out there, you want to be out for a minimal amount of time as you can. So you go to the one store and you hope your best to find everything you need, right? So that's the scary part of it. You know, you don't want to start, you know, store hopping
and so it happened so quickly. Like, I mean, I was meeting with clients one day and then it all came to a screeching.
Yeah, we were in school around March 15, 14, 15, and they started talking about this. And on the 16th, we were sent home on that Friday, and I was that. So I went from in class to Zoom classes, and now we're like doing, like, it's getting to a point where our final exam is online, which is unheard of because we're supposed to be
monitored,
right? So,
right? Yeah.
yes, exactly. So everything's changed, right? Like within a few weeks, you know. So like,
well, we're all trying to adjust to, I guess, a new normal. I mean, it's not normal, but like we're all trying, and
and it's making it harder on some people because they were isolated to begin with, and now without because there's less PSW out there, there's, you know, and all that, they're even more isolated.
Oh,
right?
Sorry to interrupt, Eric, but while you say, when you mentioned something just came to my mind, is that PPE has to be paid for. If you want your attendant to wear a mask, you need to pay for it. Like, so you've got direct funding, people on direct funding, people at ICANN, people in the community. I don't know what other other organizations are doing.
Yeah, we had masks made for our caregivers and clients.
Yeah,
and
for me the biggest thing,
and gave it to them. But that's our organization, right? So
yeah, absolutely, that's fantastic, and that really is what's best practice right now. Are those material masks, right? Now, I just would like to see other organizations kind of step up and do the same, because the I like I said, it's like for Dan, he has different, he has different staff with him all the time. So I
call it a Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so like 30.
Dan, what is it that, what will help you in particular? What do you want to see change?
Anyways, ICANN as for supportive housing.
Yeah.
There's PSWs coming in my apartment. They got 30 different staff. They are screened every morning. They do pick up their schedule one at a time in the office. Only one person at a time can go in the office.
Mm-hmm.
They're so exposed out there. They come to the building. Most of them don't wear masks. They do wash their hands, but it's like I said, it's Canadian. It's like playing Russian roulette. When's it gonna happen?
Well, hasn't the province, or am I mistaken, about, are they preventing like people going to different homes now, like from Christian
the staff that has 2 different jobs, they're not allowed to work here anymore.
When that was as of yesterday, was that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a very smart decision.
Yeah,
right?
The exposure, you're right. You're going from many different places because the PSW could be working anywhere and everywhere, right? Yeah.
Right, and I think a lot of them have to have 2 jobs. Some of them do just, well, it's choice, or whether to make ends meet for whatever reason, right? And now look at them. Their income is going to be cut because they can only work at one place. So
yeah, I mean, it's almost every day there's something new, new program or new change, and it's hard to keep up. And yeah, some people are still falling through the cracks. And you know,
it's unfortunate. I didn't hear. And I was so busy all day with my own work that I didn't get to look into the changes in the CERB, and so I just was thinking, does anybody know, like, is it what were the changes? Are there more people entitled? Like I was thinking about you, Eric. Do you fall into this position? Like, do you fall into any category there?
None.
Jeez.
Now it's for working.
I get nothing.
This is what I wanted. This is what I want to address. Like,
Nothing at all. I get my regular disability CPP that I've been getting, just with the extra cost added. I mean, that's been a life since well, or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
The worst thing for me is not being able to attend my physio. I go to physio twice a week, and that's the worst part. Is what I miss the most from all of this, right? I could do without the rest. As long as they let me go to physio, I'd be all right.
Yeah, I think some of the income was for people that were only making a certain amount of money per month, and it's employment income, I think, because it doesn't. I don't think it addressed anything to do with the ODSP and the different types of disability pensions.
Yeah, well, ODSP I know got a little something, and Ontario Works got a little something, but disability CPP or CPP got absolutely nothing at all. There's no help out there. Just all we get is the extra added costs. That's it.
What's really sad about that whole process, like you said, Eric, there was ODSP did provide some funding, so it's $100 per single person and $200 for a family. Now this money was to purchase PPE or whatever extra expenses. $100.
That's
but
one.
You had to, go ahead, Dan. You explain. You actually have to call them and go through all the bureaucratic administration of having to, it's like begging for it. You shouldn't have to go through that process. Think about the time that the social workers or the caseworkers are using, having to take these phone calls, right? That time, the money could have been used more efficiently, and say, give them $200 or $300. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just very poorly thought out. Go ahead, Dan.
No, it was not announced to anybody. It was like word of mouth. I heard from my next door neighbor, hey, I said there's $100. Then I found out it's a one-time fund only. So what's $100 these days?
And that's to cover for the PPE and
and that's very expensive. Before they changed the the requirements for masks, I looked to purchase the N95 for 20 masks. It was $200. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, like an added cost for ourselves is we have one child that's school age, but she's not under 12 years old, so there's no help there.
Okay.
Right? If your child is not under 12 years old, there's no help unless they have some type of disability. there is no help. So like us, Erica's 15, so for her, we didn't get any extra help for school supplies or anything that we would need for her to finish her high school, right? Because now they're back online for their school too, right? So
that's not right. That there.
now, like I understand helping people with children school age, but the kids from high school should also be, you know, in part in that, right? Not only the elementary schools.
Well, learning online is certainly challenging too, and in some areas it's so hard because of the internet access and that. So I haven't got a school age kid right now, so I haven't kept up. But there's got to be challenges with that for sure. Because if in Northern Ontario, we have lots of different things to deal with, and it's great that we're all spread out because that kind of helps with COVID. But kind of it's a bit more tricky with internet access for some people. Right? The further north you go, the more difficult it is. So,
one of the things, Eric, sorry not to, again, I interrupted, but Eric,
I'm used to it.
You tipped.
I should say you're used to it.
Because he lives in a house with all women, that's why. But no, I don't want to forget these points as I think of them and I think I'm going to forget. Damn it, Eric.
Sorry.
Okay, something that I think maybe you want to share is you have a PSW. Now, is that PSW coming in daily?
Yes.
You're still allowing that? You're still comfortable with that?
Yeah, he does. He takes all precautions, got his mask on, and he, I still.
Are you having to pay for that PPE?
No, he purchased it on his own. It's one of the rewashable ones.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm the first one every morning. So, you know, the minute he gets here, after he's here, I'm not sure where he goes, but I'm the first one every day. So.
Well, who knew? Like a few weeks ago. Now we're talking about PPE, like it's.
For PSW, right?
Nobody was talking this way before. I mean, I happened to have a mask at home because we did renovations. You know, that happened to be an area.
Yeah, I wear one of those, you know, things you put kind of around your neck and over your face if you're on a motorcycle or if you're working outside somewhere windy.
Yep.
And, you know, I mean, where do I find PPE? Right?
Yeah, I saw a funny video where a guy had a really long beard. And you can see he was trying to put some kind of mask on and he gave up. So he took his beard and he flipped it up and put his sunglasses over it. So his beard covered his face and then he cut his hood up. And I was like, well, that made me laugh at least, right? I'm like, that's cute.
It's a different world we're living in.
Not effective, but it's cute.
Yeah, it's something else.
Yeah. But I sure hope, I mean, we don't know. Who knows? We just got to take it one day
by day.
And see what help is available for definitely people with disabilities, because and maybe there is some funding out there, and we just have to figure out the right one and who to call and what's available.
I'll be continuing with my advocacy. I'm not letting it go.
Well, no, it's important because everybody deserves to be able to get through this with the least amount of exposure as possible, because I mean, we all see and hear about the horror stories out there right now in some of the group homes and in some of the seniors residents. It's scary stuff.
Yeah.
How do we prevent that from coming into our own home, right?
Yeah.
Every time you go out the door, there's things you got to think about and worry about, and it's challenging for sure. Is there any other things you want to mention before we say goodbye?
I think I'm pretty good.
I think we covered. I think a lot of stuff. Dan, Eric,
we just need to put a little bit more pressure on our local MPs and MPPs, whatever, and keep on them, because we don't want them to, like, we're just an afterthought for most of the politicians. And like I said, it was mentioned for the first time by JT there yesterday. So I was kind of glad that he finally said something about the disability community. Jeez, took a while.
Yeah, it sure did.
Well, and well, I know you guys always deal with this on a regular basis, and you know, just always trying to advocate and fight for the rights, and so any way that we can help at Aging in Action, we want to help. And if there's something, you know, that you find out that there is some funding available, let us know, and we can post.
Oh, we certainly will.
And just having us on your podcast is helping. Thank you.
And we're happy to do that. I know Nikki and our other co-hosts couldn't be here today, but like anything that we can do to help, we want to. We want to keep the message out there, and because people don't know. So, and people want to, I think most people want to help. They just don't know how to help, right? And
exactly.
You got to do the ask, and also we just need to keep it in the forefront for everybody. So thank you so much. It was great seeing you guys.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Eric.
Bye.
But, maybe we'll see each other in person somewhere along the line.
I hope soon.
Fingers crossed.
On opposite side of the road, maybe.
Just wave.
Yeah.
Anyway, take care of yourselves, and it was so good to see everybody, and we'll be in touch again.
All right. Thanks for having us. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.